Is Ms. Blackman here? Our attorney?
I believe Blackman is in the hall.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Adrikia Sonoy Blackman, file number 22-00826 FY, counsel appearance.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people practicing under Michigan Court Order 8.120.
May it please the court, David B. Parker Jr. on behalf of Ms. Blackman, who is present standing now.
Thank you. Today was the date and time set for a preliminary examination. The people are moving to dismiss without prejudice because the necessary witnesses have failed to appear. So I've signed a nollie. You'll get a copy of that. That simply means that if the necessary witness later makes contact with the prosecution and they're ready to proceed, the prosecution does have the right to reissue the charge against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Any additional matters while we're on the record today?
Those are the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense, thank you.
Okay, please give us 72 hours to remove the no contact order from lien before you go into any exclusion zones or areas in which you're not supposed to be under that contact order, okay?
Okay.
All right, we're off the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you a little one, sorry. Davis is in custody. John Landers. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus John Mark Landers, file number 22-03278 FY, counsel appearance.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
Stuart R. Schaefer, SHAFER, on behalf of Mr. Landers, he's standing to my left.
Thank you. How are you, Mr. Landers?
You can speak up.
I'm doing
I'm doing okay as well. Today is the date and time set for a plea. I do have a plea offer here. Indicates that the people are offering for you to plead to a count 2 of domestic violence and that they will dismiss count 1. Is that what you understand your offer to be, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may make a correction, that under set was sentencing under 7694.
Okay, it does have their sentencing under 769.4A as recommendation, and there's also a killer rule of no upfront jail. Is that what you understand your plea offer to be?
Yes.
Okay, and you understand that although that they're not objecting to sentencing under 769.4A, that's, they can't guarantee that you'll get that. That's up to the court. You understand that?
Yes.
And whether or not you're eligible. Then also the killer rule agreement, that's agreement between you and the prosecution. I'm not a party to that. So if I decide that I'm going to sentence you to jail time at the time of your sentencing, I'll give you an opportunity to withdraw your plea if it's accepted today. You understand that? Okay. And so I have an advice of rights and plea information sheet. It has the date of today on it. There's a signature affixed to the bottom. Is that your signature?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you read this document? You understand all the rights listed here? Do you have any questions about any of those rights?
No questions.
Okay, you understand, sir, that in order to accept this offer and plead guilty, you would have to give up the right to have a trial, and you would have to give the right to have your jury trial or a trial by judge. You understand that at the time of trial, you have the following rights. You have the right to remain silent and not have silence be used against you to prove your guilt. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses the prosecution intends to call. You have the right at trial to call your own witnesses or present evidence that you believe would further defense to this charge. And then you also have the right to have the prosecution prove each element of the charge being brought against you. And they have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You willing to waive all of those rights today?
Yes.
Okay, anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights today?
No.
Were there any promises made to you that weren't stated here on the record to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No.
Okay, and are you pleading guilty because you believe you are guilty?
Yes.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
No.
Sure about that? Oh, okay, you understand that a guilty plea can result in a conviction that you may need to report to either your current employer or you may need to report a conviction to a future job. Okay, you also understand that a conviction of this kind could be one that have impact on any immigration or travel status you may be seeking, such as you may want to visit Canada. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, you're still willing to waive your rights to enter this guilty plea?
Yes,
As to count 2 of domestic violence, how do you plead?
guilty.
Have a factual basis?
So on the day of the 22nd into the morning of the 23rd, we had been arguing all day, all night. There was a time where I was frustrated. I did push the victim a couple times that was not in self-defense.
Okay, where was this located?
This was located at our apartment, 187 Cascade Boulevard.
Is that in the city of Lansing,
Yes.
Ingham County, state of Michigan? Any additional questions from the prosecution?
No, thank you, Your Honor. I believe the factual basis has been established.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. I find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. This matter is going to be set for sentencing. Sentencing is going to be February 10th, 2023 at 8:30 in the morning. That can be held via Zoom if all parties consent.
Thank you. We consent.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, when you leave here today, you need to go down to the 5th floor so that they can get you the paperwork necessary to get you set up for your pre-sentence investigation. I'm also just thinking that we might need to push this date out. They're a little short down there in probation for the rest of the year. I'm sorry? So is that 8? They need more than that. I think for the next 2 weeks, they'll have 1 person down there. February 24th and 10. Does February 24th work? I'm gonna switch it to February 24th.
Sure.
Okay, we'll switch this to February 24th to allow sufficient time, because I know probation during the holidays are gonna be pretty low on support. Okay. Do you have any questions today, sir? Okay, any additional matters for the record today?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly, I did speak with the victim last night, and she did call again this morning. She wishes that the no contact order be lifted at this time, to be able to, at least to be able to communicate about their children. She would like it to be lifted in its entirety. I let her know that she should show up this morning to let you know that herself. She told me last night that she would be here, but this morning she called and said that she had to watch somebody's child. She had to watch a child this morning and could not be here. So I just wanted to let the
She
court
could
be
have logged
aware.
into Zoom.
Just want to let the court be aware that she did wish to.
Because she could have logged into Zoom. I'm not going to remove any no contact order if she can't appear in court and ask me herself.
Okay, I'll let her know.
If I may, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yeah, what would the process be? Do we need to file a motion, or can she just make an appointment to talk to you?
She can notice the prosecutor. He's here every week, and we can get on Zoom and address it then.
Okay. And if that happens, should we be present as well?
Correct.
And coordinate with you.
I'll coordinate with you on that. I'll let her know. I'll coordinate.
Very good. Thank you very much.
No problem. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing further from people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, Mr. Palmer's there. Mr. Palmer, are you here with Mr.?
I'm sorry?
Are you here with Ms. Korupski?
Yes, ma'am, and that'll be a plea. We're ready if this one's. Just grab her out of it.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna get you on here in a minute, okay? I'm just checking for that.
On the record in the matter, the people of the state of Michigan versus Carmen Porubsky, file number 21-02974. council appearance.
Ryan Ring on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Your Honor. Robert Palmer on behalf of Mr. Kristen, who's standing to my right.
Okay, how are you, ma'am?
I'm doing well, thank you, Your Honor.
Today is the date and time set for a preliminary examination. My understanding is that there is going to be a plea. I do have a plea offer from the people indicating that they're offering for you to plead guilty to an added count 2 of use of a controlled substance under MCL 333.740B. It's a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 1 year in jail and or $1,000 in fines, and that they will dismiss count 2. They are not objecting to sentencing under 7411, and there's a killable agreement of no upfront jail. Is that what you understand your offer to be, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you want to accept that today?
Yes,
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. I have a advice of rights and plea information sheet. There's a signature on there. There's no date. Is this your signature, ma'am?
Yes,
Can I put today's date on that? Did you read this document, ma'am?
yes,
Do you understand all the rights listed here?
yes, I do.
Do you have any questions about any of these rights?
I do not.
Okay, you understand that you have the right to proceed to a trial in this matter?
Yes, I do.
You have the right to have a jury trial, ma'am, or you can waive jury trial and have a non-jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to be represented by counsel. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You understand that?
Yes,
You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses the prosecution intends to call. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence that you believe would further defense to this charge. You have the right to remain silent and not have silence be used to imply or prove that you're guilty. And then you have the right to have the prosecution prove each element of the charge being brought against you. They have to prove each element at trial beyond a reasonable doubt. In order to accept this offer, you got to give up all of those rights, ma'am. You understand that?
yes,
Do you want to give those rights up today?
yes.
Has anybody made any threats to you to entice you to give up those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Any promises being made to you not stated here on the record to get you to waive your right to plead guilty?
No,
And are you pleading guilty because you believe you are guilty?
yes,
Are you currently on probation or on parole? We understand a guilty plea can result in a conviction that you may need to report to either a future job or to your current job. I'm sorry?
I understand.
And you also understand that a guilty plea can result in a conviction that may have impact on immigration status or travel status that you may receive.
Yes,
Okay, you still want to waive those rights today?
yes,
Okay, 7411, there's no objection to it, but there's no promise that you're gonna get that. You understand that?
yes,
There's also a killer rule. That's an agreement between you and the prosecution. The court's not a party to that agreement. So if at the time of sentencing, I decide that I am gonna sentence you to jail time, I would then give you an opportunity to withdraw any plea that's accepted today. You understand that?
yes.
Okay. As to the added count 2 of use of a controlled substance, how do you plead?
Guilty.
On factual basis.
Yes, ma'am. Judge, I just want to make one thing clear on the venue issue. The complaint is written for a venue on, or at an intersection of Simmons and Kalamazoo. That's where the initial traffic stop was. She was arrested on another matter and brought to the Lansing Police lockup, and that's where the controlled substance was found. So there's kind of two different venues there. They're both within the city of Lansing, and I'm certainly not challenging venue. I just want to make that clear before I.
Did you see that in the affidavit of probable cause? So that would be noted. An appropriate venue should have been at the city
Yeah,
lockup.
well, Judge, I understand. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the appropriate venue would be. They're both within the city of Lansing. That's where the traffic stop was initiated, that location. So I
But
just
it
want to
was
make
the-
the court clear.
But the controlled substance wasn't located until.
Until, yeah, she was
Got it.
arrested on an outstanding warrant for fines. She was transported here to this building, and then that's when it was.
Okay, sounds good. You can proceed.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Probst, I'm going to take you back to December 3rd of 2020. On that date, were you at or near the intersection of Clemens and Kalamazoo? And that, as far as you know, that location is within the city of Lansing. All right, and that is within Ingham County in the state of Michigan. All right. And at that time, you came into contact with some police officers, is that right? And that was part of a traffic stop?
Yes,
And ultimately, you were arrested as part of that traffic stop, is that correct?
yes,
And you were then transported by the Lansing Police Department to the Lansing Police Department lockup, which is just a couple floors down, the road, correct?
Yes.
And while you arrived in the lockup, they found a small amount of heroin in your possession. Is that right?
Yes.
And that was, you knew that was heroin, and you did not have any legal basis. Is that correct?
I do.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that satisfies the factual basis.
Any questions from the prosecution?
Nothing from the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Court is satisfied with the factual basis. Find your plea to be treated voluntarily and intelligently. This matter will be set for sentencing on February 24, 2023 at 8:30 in the morning. That can be via Zoom if all parties consent.
I have no objections to Zoom, Judge.
People absolutely have no objection, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Prior to sentencing, actually, when you leave here today, you need to go downstairs to the fifth floor, meet with probation. They'll provide you some paperwork that you need to complete and get back to them immediately so that they can prepare the pre-sentence report and recommendation as to your status for 7411 and then how you should be sentenced. Okay, ma'am? Do you have any questions today?
I do not.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you in February, ma'am. Mr. Abbott wasn't here. Mr. Silverthorne, you here with Joshua Wetzel? Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joshua Dale Wetzel, file number 22-02354. Council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Andrea McCray appearing on behalf of the people, P number 83698.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dwayne Silverman from the Office of Public Defender on behalf of Joshua Wetzel, who is standing to my right at council table.
How are you, Mr. Wetzel?
Good.
Okay.
No longer the water, but
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're wearing your mask. To keep everyone safe. Hopefully you feel better. You know, Christmas is coming. We don't want anybody under the weather for the holidays. Today was the date and time set for sentencing. I do have a pre-sentence report and a recommendation. You received that, Mr. Silverthorne?
We have, Your Honor, and I have reviewed it with Mr. Wetzel.
Okay, is there a reason to make changes, updates, or deletions?
The defense has none. Your Honor.
Oh, you can make allocation.
Just briefly, I've gone over it. He agrees that it's a fair recommendation. We asked the court to adopt it. He's in addition to being gainfully employed at Myers 50 Acre, he's taking a class so that he can qualify as a volunteer fireman at his local fire department. That's a short-term goal, and long-term being he wants to be a professional firefighter. I've advised him that if he gets a felony, that can't happen. And so this is it. So he's highly motivated to comply with the court's probation. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he does everything early, pays all his fines, does everything well in advance of when they're there. Thank you, Your Honor.
You can get this thing as well. And did your client wish to make his own statement today?
I just would like to thank you for the opportunity of avoiding jail again. This
I've not said you were avoiding jail.
the opportunity.
Okay.
I regret what I did every day that I wake up. It's definitely been a hindrance on my life so far. And I look forward to going forward and please, hopefully.
I had an opportunity to review your pre-sentence report and recommendation, as well as your prior criminal history, which really only contains this and the other incident that makes you ineligible for 769.4A. You scored a moderate high risk. It says you had high needs in the personality domain and moderate high needs in family relationships, companions, and responsivity domains. but moderately or moderate low needs, obviously in employment, leisure activities, attitudes, and substance use domains. Although you did make or indicate you had some concern about the use of marijuana. And so, and that you believe that that should be addressed and that could assist you going forward. I think the recommendation of probation is appropriate. They are recommending a 12-month term of probation, and that you should undergo some domestic violence programming and complete substance abuse assessment during your probationary time so you can follow any recommendations as it relates to substance abuse and get treatment where needed there. So I believe that's appropriate. I'm going to adopt the recommendation. As such, you will be sentenced to 93 days in Ingham County Jail, credit 2 days. I'll suspend the balance of 91 days upon successful completion of a term of 12 months probation. While on probation, I'm going to continue the no contact order. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol, marijuana, or any other controlled substance unless you have a valid prescription. Do you understand that? As part of your probationary term, you will be required to submit to random preliminary breath test and/or your analysis testing. You are responsible for the cost of that, okay? You're not to be in any bars or nightclubs while on probation. Do you have any questions so far, sir? I'm going to order that you complete domestic abuse programming and anger management and any other programming that's recommended by the probation department. That'll help you hopefully get some tools to properly address the anger management issues here. You're going to undergo a substance abuse assessment. And then follow all recommendations there as well. Okay, sir? Do you have any questions so far? As to fines and costs, this is a $30 per month probation oversight that you're responsible for. 12 months of probation, that's going to be $360. It's a $75 crime victim rights fee. I'm going to assess, that's a $50 statement on cost that must be assessed as well. We're going to waive discretionary fines and costs at this time. It's a total of $485, and you'll make monthly payments on those, okay? I've provided you an advice of rights as it relates to your probation rights and when and how you would be eligible to request early discharge from probation. I'll give you an opportunity to review that and ask me questions if necessary.
Yeah, this is pretty standard. I got it.
Okay, no questions
No,
for that?
I did review it with you prior to that.
Okay, wonderful. You can provide that back. Can you actually have him put his initials on that? Okay, so unless you have any questions for us, you will have a contact from our probation department. They're gonna go over the order of the court as it relates to your judgment that of sentence that I just entered. And then you'll review and sign it, get it back, and then you'll be assigned a probation officer. You'll get your report date and you'll begin to report regularly. Okay, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does that prompt any questions at this point?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, any additional matters for the record today, council?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, thank you and good luck to you, sir.
Good day, Your Honor. Have a good weekend, Your Honor.
Same to you.
Or spend. No, I think it's that. Straight up for 2 others. Or ahead of it. Where's it? Wait. Stop. Where's your? Davis.
I'm here, Scott's here.
Okay, let's see. Did Mr. Abbott release Dayon Walker? I'm sorry, sir. Are we running?
Request for adjournment.
Yeah, we can bring him up. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Dayon Amari Walker. File number is 22-02268.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. John Abbott, representing Mr. Walker. He's standing to my right.
How are you, Mr. Walker?
Good morning, Judge. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Had a long night. Really, what were you up to?
I worked from 2 to 12, and then I started a new job from 10 to 5.
Oh, yeah, you had a long night.
So I worked all day.
You know what? Idle time is devil's time, so you've been busy. That means you can't get in trouble, right? That's good stuff. I like to hear it. Today was the date and time that was set for a preliminary examination. I do have a nollie cross here. The people are moving to dismiss without prejudice because the necessary witnesses failed to appear. That's correct, counsel?
That's correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so the case will be dismissed without prejudice. That simply means, the without prejudice part means that they can come back and reissue the charge if the necessary witness returns and they are ready to proceed. You understand that? Do you have any questions? We'll get you a copy of this and you'll be on your way, okay, sir?
Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome and happy holiday. Okay, they're in custody, both of them.
Yeah, I don't know about Mr. Manuel. I know Mr. Wall.
They said that they
Okay.
rid him from Macomb, I believe.
And then Mr. Scott is with Mr. Davis will also be dismissal.
Okay.
Julian Davis.
Julian
There's two
Davis in the courtroom. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan. People of the state of Michigan versus Julia Maurice Davis, file number 22-01466. FY, council appearance.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
And Assistant Public Defender Scott Nichol on behalf of Mr. Davis.
How are you, Mr. Davis?
Going good, yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Today is the date and time set for a preliminary examination, also a hearing tonight. PA 53 contempt bond violation. Let's see, counsel, you say you do not have the necessary witnesses?
That's correct. At this time, Your Honor, people have not been able to get in contact with necessary witnesses and necessary witnesses here today.
Based on that, Your Honor, I would ask the matter be dismissed. As people are unable to proceed.
Okay. Bond violation, though, does not require a witness. The bond violation was set because you were supposed to make contact with pretrial services and you never did that. You don't remember what? You don't remember doing what? Making contact with them? Yeah, that's the whole essence of the bond violation. Yeah, so when you were arraigned, you were told that you needed to make contact and report to pretrial services upon release from custody or after your arraignment. I'm assuming you were in custody, but I don't know. Nonetheless, I'm going to dismiss the bond violation. And the motion to dismiss the underlying charge without prejudice will be granted. So without prejudice part means that they can reissue the charge against you if the witness is ready to proceed. Okay, we'll get you a copy of the Nolly. I don't have one yet. But once we get it signed, we'll get your copy and you'll be on your way. Okay, sir? No problem. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense.
You're on seat.
Okay, sounds good.
You're gonna go check up on your witnesses, you said, for Carter's cases.
I know I don't have them. I'm gonna check and see if Mr. Carter's here so that we can.
Mr. Carter, the one that's in right there?
You're right there, huh? I didn't see mine. Yeah.
So we're good on both those.
Yes. We're good on both those, Your Honor.
Okay.
Those are both good.
Are you looking to waive your client's appearances for these purposes?
Yes, I'll go down and talk to them. I think
Okay.
that's a good-
Sounds good. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Tom Allen Manuel, file number 22-00283, council appearance.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
May it please the court, David B. Carter Jr. on behalf of Mr. Manuel, who is in custody and down in lockup. And since this is a dismissal, I'd waive my client's appearance and will go down and talk to him.
Okay. Today was the date and time set for preliminary examination. And according to the prosecution, the necessary witnesses failed to appear. They're moving to dismiss without prejudice, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Dismissal will be granted. We'll get that signed copy. And then Mr. Carter can advise his clients of without prejudice means as it relates to this dismissal. Any additional matters for the record?
That's for the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing for the
Off the record on that. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Michael Joseph Wahaldo, file number 22-02328, council appearance.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
May it please the court, David B. Carter Jr. on behalf of Mr. Wahaldo.
Okay, you're waiving his appearance for this purpose.
I am, Your Honor. It's my understanding the prosecutor will be asking for dismissal without prejudice. My client is in lockup. I will go down and talk to my client and explain to him what, without prejudice.
Okay. Council,
Your Honor, at this time, the people lack the necessary witnesses to proceed.
okay, the dismissal without prejudice will be granted. Any additional matters for the record?
That's for the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Here's
May I approach, Your Honor?
Davis, yeah.
Here is Mr. Manuel's.
On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus LaMichael Vondez Davids, file number 22-03302FY, council appearance.
You're gonna hang on 1 second. We'll be trying to locate Mr. Piper. Apologize for the delay.
No problem. Mr. Davids, what's your address?
I currently don't have one, but I have a mailing address, 1221 West Island Street.
Who lives at that address?
It's my cousin.
Okay, so you're homeless, what you're saying? Yes, ma'am. Where are you gonna sleep?
If I get out, yeah, I'll go to the homeless shelter. Good morning, Your Honor. My apologies. I was running around. And Pfeiffer on behalf of the people.
And Assistant Public Defender Scott Nickel on behalf of Mr. Davis, who's present and standing to my right.
Today's the date and time set for a preliminary examination. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the people will be requesting an adjournment today for 2 reasons. The first being that of judicial economy, as the defendant will be back in front of this court for an attempted murder examination in a few weeks for the same complaining witness, the same victim. Secondly, the defense been calling that victim from jail, telling her to not show up and to contact my office to get the charges dismissed. And the people need some time to have that be investigated by a detective properly introduced at the preliminary examinations. He has called her 7 times from the Mason jail and 19 times from the LPD lockup. As to a number that's in both police reports and that my office has confirmed belongs to the victim. Further, I spoke with the arresting officer yesterday afternoon when I found out he had been arrested, and he was with the victim at the CATA station when he was arrested. As a result of all this, Your Honor, I believe an adjournment is appropriate and necessary. I'd ask that it be adjourned to coincide along with the attempted murder examination, or the assault with attempted murder examination. My apologies.
When was he get into custody?
Monday at 11 a.m. And he called her 11:49 a.m. on Monday as when it started.
He was taken into custody on something not related to this, correct?
The warrant, the assault intent to murder
Or
warrant,
the other case you're talking about?
correct,
Okay.
which he was informed of at the PCC for this case by Judge Buchanan, was live and he had to turn himself in, and he did not.
Mr. Nichol.
Your Honor, I'll leave to the court's discretion whether the court adjourns the matter. I would want to have copies of reports and any phone calls that Mr. Pfeiffer is alleging were made by Mr. Davis to the complaining witness. One, so I can verify whether they were made by Mr. Davis and whether they were made to the complaining witness, but also to understand the context of the calls, as I imagine that will become an evidentiary issue during this case. And I would note, I don't think there will actually be any harm to Mr. Davis's fundamental rights if the court adjourns in a couple of weeks. He is set to come back to court on the 29th on another matter involving, as Mr. Pfeiffer said, the same victim. And on that other file, he does have a $100,000 cash surety bond he can't post. So whatever happens today would not result in his release from custody on any account.
Who was the matter before Judge Ward?
The other files assigned to Judge Ward.
She, first half, might be, this is not on the world.
Yeah, it's odd. I thought it was with this court, because they usually are.
Well, the thing is, I think I'm off, I'm scheduled to be off on the 29th.
You guys are both off, but
We're both off, but I think that we might need to consolidate.
No, just that they scheduled the other one when Judge Ward is also off.
Right.
That's the
Like,
bit
well, I
that really
think
confused
she's
me.
off for the 22nd, but she's not off on the 29th. is probably what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nonetheless.
Work could probably hear the other one too.
To be honest, I actually could just come to 29th. I'll be good. So it doesn't matter. We'll work it out. We'll see about getting consolidated. I technically have the 29th off, but I'll be here. So I could come in and do it.
It's unfortunate.
I'm not gonna do anything else. I don't, but we'll see if Judge Ward's staff want to take it. Either way, I think it makes sense to have that, these, before the same judge, rather than splitting this up. I'll grant the request to adjourn. You have the right to have a preliminary examination within 21 days of your arraignment on this matter. But due to the issues stated by the prosecution, the court's going to find the cause to go beyond the 21-day timeline and reset this matter. I'm also going to get with the clerk's office to see if we can get both of these cases for the same judge, whether it's going to be me or Judge Ward. I can't tell you at this time because of our schedules, but it'll be before one of the two of us, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any additional matters for the record today?
Not from the people.
Not from the defense.
Bond was set at 5,000 personal recognizance. It will continue. I will reiterate, there is a no contact order in place. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with a Rebecca Taylor. You're not to be within 200 feet of wherever she lives, works, or goes to school. You understand that? Do you have any questions about what no contact means?
No, I don't have any questions.
Oh.
I know.
Okay, very good. So you can't make any phone calls. You can't have anyone else make any phone calls. You shouldn't try using like another inmate's number, anything like that. It's probably not gonna be in your best interest. You understand that? Okay. Any additional matters at this time?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you.
Schedule it for that day, the 29th, just in case. Yeah, I would schedule for the 29th. So let me hold this off so I can follow up. Let's see. Who else is waiting? Mr. Starks is handling something somewhere else. Probably.
First is handling another matter right now.
Mr. Nickel has a few. Oh, no, we did Davis already.
Well, does have another one.
Martel,
Yes. Martel.
okay. Martel got fingerprints taken care of? I'm sorry?
Not here. I haven't done it before, but not.
Do we get the fingerprint? It says on here, there's 2 fingerprints. In When did you have your fingerprints done on this case?
Never. I'm just.
Oh, okay, well, you can go do that and come back.
I believe Mr. Roper, Mr. Austin and I believe are ready to go, and Mr. Roper is brought up. Is that correct, Mr. Austin?
Correct.
Ready on the. Sorry for waiting on, Mr. Austin has Roper and Taylor. Taylor here. Come on, Taylor, did you get your fingerprints done on this?
Yes, I'm on Mr. Taylor's case. We're not ready to proceed on that yet, but we would be ready to proceed on robbery.
No, he needs to get fingerprints though,
Oh,
so you can go do that and come back. Which one?
Hey, Mr. Austin, I think Melvin Jackson's out there. We can
Your Honor.
Got it. On the record in the matter, the people of the state of Michigan versus Melvin John Jackson, file number 22-03249. Council appearance.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Jared Austin appearing on behalf of Mr. Jackson. He stands present to my right.
How are you today, Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
And how's the baby? How about that? Today is the date and time that was set for a preliminary examination. How are we proceeding?
During this time, the people will be asking for an adjournment. I got a call from the state trooper involved in this case, the necessary witness yesterday that he was unavailable for today's date. There's a time the people will be asking for an adjournment in this matter. Yeah.
And are you objecting?
I am not, Your Honor. I take no position. I leave it at the court's discretion.
Okay, why is he unavailable? Can you tell us?
He did not mention why he was unavailable.
So we just put it on any day. He's not like on leave or vacation or something.
Sorry, Your Honor. I didn't-
He's not on leave or vacation or something.
He didn't mention that, Your Honor. He just said that he was unavailable
Oh,
tomorrow.
okay, so Mr. Jackson, you have the right to have a preliminary examination within 21 days of your arraignment. Due to the officers or the troopers' unavailability, I'm going to find the cause to go beyond that timeline of 21 days and set this for a new date. Okay, sir? It'll be set in January, okay? Yeah, if we have available. We can do January 13th at 8:30. January 13th at 8:30. Thank you. We're ready for Roper, right? Okay. January 13th at 8:30 in the morning. That's not a conflict for anybody.
Works with my schedule, Your Honor.
Absolutely works my good, Your Honor.
Oh, well, I know you'll be here. Sounds sounds good. Okay, bond set at 2,000 personal recognizance. That will continue. Any additional matters for the record?
That's what the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further on behalf of Mr. Jackson, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, enjoy your Christmas, sir.
Thank you.
Jackson.
They need the orders to get their fingerprints taken.
Counter. Yeah, they'll print them. Another one.
Go to the criminal counter.
Mr. Roper, is that who this is?
Yes, Your Honor, this is Mr. Roper.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus William David Roper. File number is 22-03130 and 22-03181. Council appearance.
Brad Ring on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Your Honor, and good morning. Jared Austin, appearing on behalf of Mr. Roper. He is present to my right at council table.
How are you, Mr. Roper?
I'm good, man.
Today's the date and time set for preliminary examinations on both matters. How are we proceeding?
I believe this is going to be an unconditional, people, I believe this is going to be a waiver. The people unconditionally waive their right to preliminary examination.
Mr. Austin?
That is correct, Your Honor, and that is true to both files.
Okay, were there offers extended on either?
Sorry, Your Honor.
Is there an offer on either?
Yes, Your Honor, the people in exchange for the unconditional waiver, the people agree not to add the 10-year interference with the crime report as well as the witness interference charges on both files. Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Roper, you understand that you have the right in each of these files to have a preliminary examination here in the district court.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that the purpose of the preliminary examination is to have the prosecution meet their burden to establish that there's sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed and probable cause sufficient to charge you with the crime.
Yes, ma'am.
You are willing to waive your examination in each of these files?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody threatening you to get you to waive your exams?
No, ma'am.
Were any promises made to you to get you to waive these exams?
No, ma'am.
You understand that the waivers is unconditionally made, meaning you can't come back later and decide that you want to have your exam. Once you waive it, it's over. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Find your waiver to be made freely and voluntarily. Both matters will be bound over to the circuit court. Bind over date. Today's date. Bind over date is the 28th of December. You do not need to appear in court on that date. That's just the date they get the file from this court, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date on each file will be a pre-trial in the circuit court. You will not be arraigned in the circuit court on these files, okay? Unless your attorney is requesting arraignment for some particular purpose, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any questions at this time?
No, ma'am.
File number ending in ending in 3130. Bond was set at 5,000 cash surety. That will continue along with the no contact order and GPS tether. File number ending in 3181. Bond was set at 25,000 cash surety. And that will also continue along with the no contact order and GPS tether. Any additional matters for the record?
Your Honor, I would just ask that the court remind Mr. Roper what the no contact order means. Please.
Okay, there is a no contact order in place in both of these files. And file number ending in 3130, it's a no contact order as to a Rebecca Highfield. Not to be within 2,000 feet of wherever she lives, works, goes to school, food shops, does her laundry. You can't be within 2,000 feet of her for any purpose. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't have contact directly or indirectly with her. Indirectly means you can't have anybody else contact her on your behalf. You can't use another inmate's number to try to contact her. You can't call your mom on the freeway and have your mom contact her. No contact of any kind, okay? No DMs, no text messages, no contact,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And that applies also to the no contact order in the other file, which is for Leonard, I believe is what it says. Right, okay, I can't read the handwriting here. Let's see if I can find order here. Okay, Leah Lyons. Or mother, or her mother. You're not to be within 2,000 feet of wherever they live, work, or go to school. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with them. Do you have any questions at all about the potential of violating that?
No, ma'am. I understand.
Okay. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing else in the field. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further on behalf of Mr. Roper, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Mr. Starks, you here with Mr. Aldrich?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Drew Aldrich, file number is 22-03313FY. Council appearance.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people. Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Jacob Starks, the fourth assistant public defender here on behalf of Mr. Aldrich. He's president at the council table. He's staying in my room.
Okay, and Mr. Aldrich, today was the date and time set for a preliminary examination. My understanding is that there is a plea. I have an offer here from the people. It says that they're offering for you to plead guilty to an added count 2 of domestic violence second under MCL 750.813. That's a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 1 year and or $1,000 in fines, and that they will move to dismiss count 1 of domestic violence third degree. And then there is a Killebrew agreement of no upfront jail. Do you understand that to be the offer that was extended to you? Okay, you want to accept that offer today, or do you not? Oh, you do? You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. I do have an advice of rights and the information sheet with today's date on it. Is that your signature on there?
Yes, sir.
Did you read this document?
Yes, sir.
You understand the rights listed here?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about these rights?
No.
You understand that you have the right in this matter to proceed to a trial?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have a jury trial or a non-jury trial. You understand that? At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence because you are innocent until proven guilty. And you're willing to waive that right today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses the prosecution intends to call at trial. You have the right to call your own witness to trial or present evidence that you believe would further defense to this charge. And then you also have the right to have the prosecution prove each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you wish to waive each of those rights here today to plead guilty? Anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty? Were there any promises made to you if you waive your rights today and plead guilty?
No.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
No.
I understand that a guilty plea can result in a conviction that you may need to report to your job or to a future job.
Yes.
You understand that a guilty plea can result in a conviction that may have impact on any immigration status or travel status that you may be seeking.
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes, sir.
As to the added count 2 of domestic violence second degree, how do you plead? On a factual basis, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Aldrich, do you recall about the date and time that you were arrested?
I'm not recalling exactly.
On or about November 28, 2022, sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you recall where you were on that date?
I do. I was at my residence, 927 North Capitol Avenue, apartment 3.
And who was at that residence with you?
Jamie Smith.
And at the time, were you in a dating relationship with Ms. Smith?
Yes, yes, we did.
Okay. And you recall the events on the 28th of November?
I do.
And what happened on the 28th of November?
We had a verbal argument and I lost my temper and I pushed her. And I deeply regret it. It was not a matter of self-defense. I lost my temper and I pushed her.
Thank you, Mr. Aldrich. And had you previously been convicted of one domestic assault in years prior?
I have.
And do you recall approximately what that was?
Approximately 2005, I believe.
2005. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that should be a sufficient factual basis for domestic violence second.
It is 921 North Capitol in the city of Lansing, Ingham County.
Yes.
Okay. That's in the state of Michigan, correct?
Correct.
Any questions from the prosecution?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I will accept your plea and find your plea to be made free voluntarily and intelligently. I also want to note that there is a Killebrew agreement of no upfront jail. That's an agreement between you and the prosecution. I am not a party to that, okay?
Okay.
So if at the time of sentencing, I decide that it'd be more appropriate for you to serve jail time, I will give you the opportunity then to withdraw your plea, okay? Okay. Your matter is going to be set for sentencing. It's going to be Monday, February 27, 2023 at 8:30 in the morning. That could be via Zoom if all parties consent.
What's your preference, Mr. Ellis? Would you prefer to appear by Zoom?
If it pleases the court, Zoom is fine with me.
Okay, we'll proceed to use that date and time. When you leave here today, you need to go down to the 5th floor, meet with probation. They'll get you some paperwork to get you set up for your precedence report and investigation. They're gonna provide us with a recommendation as to how you should be sentenced, okay? Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further for the defense. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holiday. On the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Sabrina Marie Bartel, file number 22-03153, counsel appearance.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
This is Public Defender Scott Nickel on behalf of Ms. Bartel.
Today's the date and the time set for a preliminary examination. How are we proceeding on this?
Your Honor, there is going to be a misdemeanor plea. And approach.
Okay, Ms. Bartel, I do have a plea offer from the people indicating that they're offering for you to plead guilty to an added count 2 of use of a controlled substance under Michigan's Power Law 333.74042B. It's a misdemeanor, maximum penalty 1 year and or $1,000 in fines, and they will dismiss count 1. There's a killable agreement of no upfront jail. Is that what you remember your offer to be?
Yes, sir.
And you've considered to discuss that with your attorney? You want to accept that today?
I do.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Have an advice of rights of the information sheet here. It has a signature on it. It has the date of the 12th of January 2022 on here. Did you read this document?
Yeah, I did read it.
What day did you read it?
I read it today.
Okay, can I put
I don't
today's
know
date
what
on it?
I'm already in the meeting.
Well, that was last year.
I know.
I'll address it for today. And
Okay,
that's your
thank you.
signature today? This is your signature, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you reviewed this document?
I did read it.
You understand all the rights here?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about these rights? So you understand that you have the right to have a trial in this matter, and you have the right to have a jury trial?
Yes, I do.
You understand at the time of jury trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence, because as you stand here today, you are innocent until proven guilty. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
You want to waive that right to the presumption of innocence to plead guilty today?
Yes, I will.
Okay, and you understand that you're also gonna give up your right to remain silent at any trial and not have silence be used against you. You're gonna waive your right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses that the prosecution intended to call against you. You're gonna waive your right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence that you would believe would further a defense of this charge. And you're also gonna waive your right to have them prove each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what you wanna do today? Anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty here today? Any promises being made to you in exchange for you pleading guilty? Are you currently on probation or parole? Can you speak up? Because we gotta hear you on the record. Thank you. And there's a killable agreement here. That's an agreement about how you're gonna be sentenced. That agreement stands between you and the prosecution. I am not a party to that. You understand that?
I do.
So that means at the time of your sentencing, I can decide that I'm going to send you to jail. But at that time, I would give you an option to withdraw your plea, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand that a guilty plea can result in a conviction that may have impact on any immigration or travel status you may be seeking?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, and also could have a impact on your current employment status, or you may need to report a conviction to your future employer, correct?
Correct.
Okay. As to the added count 2 of use of a controlled substance, how do you plead?
I plead guilty, Your Honor.
Factual basis, please. Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Bartel, back on July 20th of 2022, were you at the location of Howe Avenue?
Yes, I will.
And that's in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan.
Yes, I did.
And were you pulled over by a Michigan State police trooper?
Yes.
And was he in his vehicle, in a uniform?
Yes.
And he pulled you over for a traffic infraction?
Yes.
And at some point during that traffic stop, did he ask you to get out of your vehicle?
Yes.
And did he open the door to your car and locate cocaine in the door of your car?
Yes, he did.
And you knew that cocaine was in your vehicle
Yes, I did.
because you had placed it there?
Yes, I did.
And you didn't have any special right or privilege to possess cocaine at that time?
No, I didn't.
And I believe that's sufficient factual basis.
Any questions from the prosecution?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I will accept your plea and find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. This matter will be set for sentencing. The sentencing date's gonna be February 27th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be via Zoom if all parties consent.
No issue from the people. Thank you.
And Ms. Barchow, do you have any issue appearing over Zoom for sentencing?
No.
You can appear in person if you want, but we're just giving you the option to appear via Zoom, okay?
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. When you leave here today, you need to go downstairs now to the 5th floor because you've already taken care of your fingerprints at this point, correct? You took care of your fingerprints already?
I did.
Okay, so you'll go to the 5th floor when you leave here. They'll get you set up for your pre-sentence report and investigation. You'll also be required to undergo a substance abuse assessment prior to your sentencing, okay?
Okay.
You have any questions today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing to the contrary. Thank you.
Okay, you're all set, man. Happy holiday.
Okay, you too.
On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Kwan Dion Taylor. File number 22-03182, council appearance.
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jared Austin appearing on behalf of Mr. Taylor. He stands present to my right.
Okay, Mr. Taylor, how are you?
All right, good morning.
Today was the date and time set for preliminary examination. I do have a nollie cross here indicating that the necessary witness did not appear. People are moving to dismiss without prejudice, but they are objecting to destruction of arrest records pursuant to MCL 764.26A.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, sounds good. The court's going to grant their motion at this time. The case will be dismissed without prejudice. That simply means that they can reissue the charge against you within the statutory timeframe if the necessary witness does appear and is ready to proceed. You understand that? And I will grant the request under MCL 764.26A to preserve the records at this time. Do you have any questions for the court?
No.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing on behalf of Mr. Taylor, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Taylor will get you a copy of this, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Happy holiday.
Yes, please.